I like saying thank you to the pilot when I walk off the plane. I like doing that. How many people say thank you to the pilot when you get off the plane? All right. It's a decent amount, but it's not everybody. What's wrong with you? Why are you gonna be a jerk? That's all they want. That's all a pilot wants. If you fly, that's the first thing. As soon as they park, the door just flies open at the front. They're just like... Hey, did you notice how we didn't all die? You're welcome. You're welcome for that. I did that for you. And we all just shuffle off in our pajama bottoms and Crocs, like, don't make eye contact with me. So rude. That's all they want is a thank you for that job. They're up there. They're tucked in up there. They are tucked in with dress shoes the whole time. And we're back there with like half a in sweatpants, like, nodding off on pills and tiny bottles of booze. They're wearing a goddamn sport coat up there for you. You ever look in a cockpit? It's a panic room. It's just a chamber. It's a chamber of anxiety for anybody that doesn't know. And they know all the buttons, all the switches. They know what to do. The windshield, that's arbitrary. That's for us. If a pilot sees something wrong out the windshield, we're dead. We're already dead. Like nobody's gonna get on a plane without a windshield. That's for you guys to feel all right. If something's going wrong out there, we're f***ed, man. We're just straight up I'll tell you that. At the beginning, they get in there and just know. They're like, every switch, like, don't die, don't die, don't die. Will not die. We won't die here. Won't die if I do that. Better not die, better not die, better not die. Oh, here's the big old good luck lever. We need that. Don't die. Almost, if I didn't do this, we would have definitely died. Look, thank God, don't die. And here we go, not dying. And then we all just hung over, shuffling off like the landing was a little choppy. I don't know. It's weird that, I don't know, you meet, there's a lot of patriots out there. Patriots. Love America. They love America, and they love the military, they love the troops, but they also love the Constitution. I'm gonna get this piece of fuzz off me, because it's a special, and I can't look like for this. But like you meet these people, and they're Americans. We're Americans, and they're patriots, and they love the Constitution, and they love the military, and they're just But it's weird because like they love the military, but you can't criticize the troops. But you love the Constitution, and that's got the First Amendment, which allows me to criticize the troops. So which do you love? You can't be one or the other. And just, all I'm saying is I've been getting a lot of bar fights because I don't think. You can't tell me you love the First Amendment and tell me I can't criticize the troops, because I'm gonna stand here as an American also and tell you I don't think Navy SEALs should be ticklish, and... And there's always some guy with like a grunt-style t-shirt at the other end of the bar like, why not? It's endearing. No, it's a weakness. And it shouldn't be tolerated. You're telling me these are the best of the best, and all it's gonna take is a big feather to get them to spill the beans? It's unacceptable. Unacceptable. Navy SEALs shouldn't be ticklish, and also, you shouldn't qualify for the CIA if you've ever fallen for a surprise party. That should just be the test. That should be one of the tests. Oh, I thought we were just going to Nana's house. Yeah, on your birthday! If everybody yells surprise and you're like, I had no idea, then the surprise is you need to find a new career. Let it be known, I have to say, I am not anti-Semitic. I'm like the most Semitic. I love them. I won't go to the Holocaust Museum, though. Nope. I'll explain. It's not like I'm just gonna move on to the next joke. He let that one hang out there for a while. No, I don't want to go to the Holocaust Museum because I am a coward. That's it. That's as simple. It happened, all right? That's not the route I'm going with this. It happened, I know it happened, and it was bad. Real bad. Like the worst. And I know that, and I'm too scared to deal with the emotions that would come with visiting a Holocaust museum. Like, that's That's a big day. That's a, wow. You don't want to do anything else? Okay. Maybe I'm wrong. Does anybody here want to go to the Holocaust Museum? Okay, all right, okay. And anybody who says yes, it's always in theory. It's never like, okay, tomorrow. They're like, oh, I didn't know tomorrow. It's like, I have plans, but let's put it on a calendar and think about doing the right thing. No, we're all cowards, and that's okay. Glad the Holocaust Museum is there. It's there for education, and that's how the majority of people that go to the Holocaust Museum, they are field trips, which I find a tad ironic. That just somebody's like, oh, we got this Holocaust Museum. How are we going to get people in there? We could transport them in against their will. It's like, whoa, hey. Has our marketing guy even been inside yet? Because that's like a main thing that happened. You can't just look at the pictures. You got to read the captions. They didn't just love trains, man. That one's a bit too far. That one went. First off, I realized when I moved back to the suburbs, I came in with the wrong energy because I came in with city energy. I was living in Los Angeles for just about 17 years. And if you, like, city energy, as you may know, like, you just get real used to things that you shouldn't be getting used to. Like, you shouldn't be casual about some of the stuff that's happening. But you do, because you're in a city, and that volume just slowly gets turned up, just frog into boiling water, until you're just coming in just real loose, saying shit like, man, that guy with the sword is out in front of 7-Eleven again. He's always saying something wild like, and I'll do it again. I don't doubt you will, my man. I'm sorry, sir. I figured it out. It takes him about 9 seconds to go from the red box machine to the propane refill tank. So if you time it out just right, you can get in and out while I'm seeing you. Makes that Slurpee taste that much sweeter, I'll tell you that. Well, that's a little sugary trophy for you for living. Watch out, though. If he nicks you, you're going to have to get a tetanus shot. That's never any fun. So that's the energy I moved back with. Like, I just came in hot because I knew, because we moved there like end of September, right? And that's when I got into town. I'm like, this is how I'm winning over this neighborhood. I'm gonna move into the suburbs. This is how I'm gonna win over the neighborhood. I'm gonna be full-size candy bars guy on Halloween. That's how I'm gonna be. Everybody loved full-size candy bar guy. As a kid, you're like, that guy rules. Don't egg his house. This guy rules. Everybody loves full-size candy bar guy, and that's how I was gonna start it that first Halloween. I'm gonna be full-size candy bar dude. Here's the thing I did not realize, because I was coming in with hot city energy, is that in the suburbs, when you just show up in the beginning of a pandemic with out-of-state plates, and then just try to be full-size candy bar guy without having children of your own, it has the inverse effect. I'm just sitting out on my porch under the one light that was working, because I didn't get around to fixing the rest of them, just waving king-size Snickers, going, how can I tell if you're Spider-Man unless you come closer? Just waving children in like I worked the ramp at the airport. Like, Hulk wouldn't be scared. So that didn't help with ingratiating myself into the suburbs. Yeah, that was like strike one, really, for moving out there. And it was like a lot of new families that were out there too, and we just moved in. Like I said, out of state plate, no kids, and people just eyeballing like, how dare you be here without children? Where are your children? Where are they? Why don't you have them? What's wrong? Is it you? Is it her womb? Like, Jesus Christ, I just spend my time trying to learn ZZ Top songs on guitar. You got legs, you know how to use them. Do not reward mediocre comedy. Do not. They were just mad dog us, because there's so many just new moms out there, like baby stroller Sturgis, just pushing them down the street. Saddest song in the world is Margaritaville by Jimmy Buffett. but not Margaritaville as it was written. You got to think about what Margaritaville is now. Because now Margaritaville isn't a fictional location where some made up, relaxed dude like, I guess I screwed things up, whatever, que sera. Ooh, thatched roofed huts, white sand beach, I'll get over it. No. Margaritaville now that you know it's a real brick and mortar restaurant that sits in the parking lots of shopping malls throughout the country. If you listen to the lyrics of that song, but that's the setting, that's the darkest shit you've ever heard in your life. Not some fictional island that's in the Caribbean. How do we get to it? Stolen jet boat? Maybe one of them airplanes that has hot dog buns instead of wheels, so it can cruise right up onto the beach. No, Margaritaville number 218, St. Paul, Minnesota, let's say early February. It's a tail end of a lunch rush. It's a community college dropout behind the bar just wiping off laminate menus. And there's a man sitting at the bar by himself, openly weeping into a basket of coconut shrimp. Some people say that's a woman to blame. But I know. This is my own damn fault. Hey, Terry, you want to get your shit together? There's families in here right now, bud. I get that you're a bit broken up, but we can't be like this. My assistant manager's here, and you're looking real overserved right now, all right? I can box this up, and you could eat it in your van, but I can't have this. That's a Pee-wee soccer team in the back room, all right? Let's get it together, okay? Can I get you anything else? I'm just looking for my lost shaker of salt. There's one on every table. What the f*** does that even mean, man? Why are you wearing up flip-flops? It's freezing outside. So pay less shoes across the parking lot. I'll give you the money for boots. That joke will be even better when I learn more lyrics to Margaritaville. The doctor's like, yeah, your appendix is inflamed. It hasn't ruptured yet, but just go to the ER because they're going to have to get it out of there. So I went to the ER. I went to a Suburban hospital. I can tell it's Suburban because the doctor was very just unimpressed with having to do another appendectomy. Just another boring day at the office for this surgeon. You could tell he's out in the suburbs like, can't we get a goddamn knife fight in this town? I went to school for real shit. As he came in the room I was in, he's like, yeah, we're gonna give you a laparoscopic appendectomy. He said that once. He only said that one time, laparoscopic appendectomy. And that was enough, too, because I was like, whoo, uh-oh. Because they charge by the syllable. So you know it's like... Laparoscopic appendectomy. Esquire, the third. Pump the brakes. After that, he just called it a lappy-appy. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not a fan of a nonchalant attitude from a surgeon. Say the whole word. Earn your money, say laparoscopic appendectomy, he wasn't even saying it to make me feel comfortable. He was just saying it out of just shortening his job. Because they were saying it out in the hallway, too. They were just like, what's in room 9? It's a lappy appy. It's nothing exciting. Like, don't do cute nicknames before the procedure. If I live, we could be adorable afterwards. Afterwards, man, we could put glitter on the scars. I don't give a But beforehand, say the whole term, make me feel safe. I have to go under anesthesia. People don't make it through anesthesia sometimes. I could still die, even if it's routine. What if I die? That's it. I died without any information about what was happening. I just show up in heaven or whatever I qualify for at this point. I don't know. I definitely have some strikes against my license by now. But anywhere you wind up where some ethereal being with a clipboard's like, oh man, you weren't on the schedule today, and the best I can say is like, I guess my lappy appy went whoopsie poopsie. Didn't get much more information than that. But yeah, well, thank God it went okie dokie, so we're here today. So I was thinking, but like, that's, unless you had a situation where it ruptured and inflamed, you have an appendix in your body right now doing nothing. Except maybe making a doctor $25,000. I've moved back to the suburbs. That's what I've done. That's my big life change. No kids, no marriage. I just live back in the suburbs. That was my big whole thing. And I thought I was gonna do great. Because it's weird. Like, I mean, suburbs not what you hear a super cool guy talk about. But no, I thought, you know, what my reasoning was, like, I'm from the suburbs, and I was like, okay, yeah, maybe it's just, you know, middle age. It's okay to like cool down and stop trying to die every night. But I'm from a town called Addison, Illinois. That's where I'm from. It's outside of Chicago. It doesn't matter. It's the same suburb. Whatever suburb you're thinking of, that's the one. They're not different. You know, they're not different. Mine has a 31 flavor. Nope. They're all the same one. They're all, it's everywhere. Is it a poorly marked exit across 9 lanes of highway that you gotta just cut off, you know, semi-trucks? Like, God damn it! Get on some clover leaf that just plops you out right between a TGI Fridays and a Chili's. Yeah, that's the one. There's always a family in the parking lot between those 2 restaurants confused. Yeah, every time. It's always just the dad. He's always just like, yeah, I know, but which one's got that prolapsed onion thing I like so much? All of them, Daryl, only the sauce is different. Okay. So, yeah, that's the one. My parents still live there. My parents are still in the same house I grew up in. I guarantee you, they're in that house right now at this very moment. Just both in separate rooms, 3 televisions, all playing HGTV at different volumes, just to fill in the void where conversation used to live. Just Property Brothers, echoing like the national anthem in a baseball stadium. Have you thought about a French drain? French drain. They're great. They're there. You know, they're just old and crazy. You know, parents are. Both there. I still love them. I still talk to them, but it's, you know, it gets tough. My mom. How do we say this? Verbose is not a long enough word to describe how my mother abuses the privilege of conversation. Is that too mean? Let's put it this way. The woman tells a story the same way a Rube Goldberg machine cracks an egg into a frying pan. Does that make more sense? Oh, you're gonna get that omelet, but you're gonna take a lot of unnecessary twists and turns to get there. What's that? An example? You got it, Minneapolis. I called her up. When I call her, I know that I've made the first mistake. So I clear my schedule, I get snacks and waters around me, and I'm like, all right, here we go. Time to hit the space station. You know, you just get your necessities around you and strap in. And I called her up. And I started optimistically. I'm going to start with good energy. And I call her, and I was like, okay. I was like, hey, Ma. That's how I started. Hey, Ma. Good energy. And that's how I called. She answered the phone, heard me go, hey, Ma. And then her response, she just goes, ugh. Right there, I was like, I do not have enough snacks. We are not going to make it around the moon on this one. She goes, as if she's just been preparing for this, she goes, ugh, Kyle. She goes, do you know the game Words from Friends? Now, I know that game's called Words with Friends, but I don't want to correct her. That's going to add time on the clock. That's what we're trying to avoid. All right? Talking to my mom, it's improv rules. Yes, and. You just got to agree and push forward. It's the only way. Anything said is the truth, and that's the reality now. So you just accept and move forward. Words from friend, I'm like, yeah, Mom, it's like Scrabble. She goes, Kyle, it's like Scrabble. Then she spent the next 20 minutes describing the game of Scrabble to me. That's a game that we've played together. I blacked out. I came to, I don't know how much longer later. The house smelled delicious. I think I made a frittata. I'm not sure. I came to when she was reaching what she knew was the logical conclusion of her introduction. This was the finish line for her all along. She goes, so anyway, Liz had to have 3 feet of her lower intestine removed. How she got there from phone Scrabble, I have no idea. And I'll never know. If you have an idea, hit me up. You know what? Give it to the kids. They're imaginative. If you're a teacher, even just a parent, just try. Hey, creative writing exercise today, kids. Take out a pen and paper. We're gonna try something different, all right? We're gonna start here, all right? Words from friends. What? Nope. I know it's wrong. Work it into the piece. We're starting here. Now we want to land here at intestinal removal. That's where we're gonna end. And if you can get there in 5,000 words or less, a Pulitzer Prize. Probably, I don't know. At least a full ride to a state school. I can't. I've had this up on the bulletin board for weeks. This is like some Goodwill Hunting type shit. I have no idea. But good on her for having it make sense, you know? I think that's why their relationship works, is because, like, my dad is the complete opposite. My dad will say something meaningful once every 3 to 5 years. That's when he's like, you know what, we'll chime in. That's about it. I remember one time, I stay over there when I'm back in town most of the times, and I woke up in the morning and I was making a cup of coffee for myself, and I put cream and sugar in that coffee, because that's how I thought I liked coffee. My dad just appeared next to me, just fully dressed, tucked in. Like, what are you doing? You own this house and you don't work. Calm down. He's just looking at what I had done to the coffee, and he's just looking at it for a while, and then just after a minute, he finally just looks at me, gestures to the coffee, and just says, why don't you put a dress on it? I've drank black coffee since that day. Do I like it? Not at all. No, but daddy's love. Oh, that's not an ulcer. That's just Pat Kinane letting me know he thinks about me. We don't say I love you. We just bleed out into each other's stomachs. That's how you know. That's how you know. in spite of him saying that, he's not like a macho guy. I appreciate that. He's not like a macho dude. They're just both, they're Midwest. They're stuck in their ways. You know how it is. You got parents, older relatives, like, this is how we do it. Yeah, but it's better this way. Oh, change is the devil. So we got to do it this way. Like my dad will still have a steak with a glass of milk. Yeah. Are you trying to put it back together inside of you? What's... Some sort of culinary ship in a bottle you're trying to build down there? Hey, I got an idea. Let's get your old racing leathers on. You can cosplay the whole thing. How about that? One of the times I was back home, and I was going out to eat with some friends. We were going out to a vegetarian restaurant. I'm vegetarian. Technically, I'm pescatarian. But, well, you don't have to say that unless you want to get rid of all your friends. It's really such an efficient way to cull the herd. We're all thinking about going out to eat. What does everybody want? Well, just remember, I'm a pescatarian. Shut the up, Kyle. Nobody asked or cares. We just figured you'd stay home and lick the yard for whatever nutrients you need. Why don't you go dunk your hand in a fish tank and suck on that for the rest of the night? We were going out to this vegetarian restaurant, and I invited my dad to go. And he's not like macho about stuff. He'll go to things, and he was actually excited. He's like, "Oh, that's great! Yeah, I've never had vegetarian food." I'm like, "Yeah, you have." Been right next to that steak the whole time. I took him to this vegetarian restaurant, and he ordered a veggie burger. Safe bet for somebody that's unfamiliar with it, because I could tell he's like, maybe it's meat. It won't be, but you know. It's a familiar term you went with, I understand. And so I ordered a veggie burger. I got to watch my father eat a veggie burger for the very first time. And maybe I don't have kids, so maybe this is what people talk about when you have kids. You get to watch them experience something new, and it rekindles like, oh, that's what like a new thing is like, and it's like exciting and endearing to watch. That's what I got watching my dad eat a veggie burger for the first time, and it was great to see him eat it because he did not like it, and that made it so much more entertaining to watch. Because I knew he was going to finish it. Midwest, you finish your food. It's rude if you don't. I don't care if you don't like it. You clean plate. You clean your plate. So I watched that man just reluctantly fight through a veggie burger. Now, he wasn't going to speak up about it. He just fought. It was weird, too, because he wouldn't use his teeth. I don't know why. He has teeth. They weren't, like, just on the table. But he wouldn't, I could tell in his head, like, teeth for flesh. This ain't flesh. So he was only using his lips and his tongue, which was a very odd choice. How you doing there, buddy? It's just a lot mushier than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, the videos aren't going to get you ready. What is that, a bean? If you're doing it right, yeah, if you're doing it right. I find a balance and a fairness in this world, just an equilibrium whenever I see an attractive person getting on a Southwest flight last. That's when I know that there is some small undercurrent of justice in this world. You know, you just see a supermodel, just somebody gorgeous, a gorgeous individual, and then you see that C on their boarding card, and you know they have no idea. And you're like, oh, honey, you're about to learn how the world really works. Yeah, you got bumped off a United flight or something. Now you're here with the great unwashed. This is going to be fun. Because they always stand at the front of the plane with nothing but middle seats open. They're just like, I can't, but why? But what am I going to do? You're going to rub some elbows with some stinkers. That's what you're going to do. Squeeze in here with some slobs coming home from Vegas and make some friends. I know I'm getting sensitive because I'll still watch skateboard videos on YouTube, but now when I watch them, I get sad when a security guard shows up because I know that they're going to be mean to him. It doesn't touch down a lot. There's like some 40-year-olds wearing Vans going, yeah, we were real jerks to those guys, and they were just trying to do their jobs. But we were 10 years ago, I'd watch a skate video and be like, yeah, Toby, you got this. Nollie heel flip, that 10-step. You're going to crush it. You're going to get that shoe sponsorship, and you're going to go pro, and I believe in you. This narc. He never even had dreams. He don't even know. This guy was born old. Look at him. He came out of his mom's looking like he was 90. This dude, hit him with your board after you pull this trick off, and you show him, because you're gonna make good lawyer money. That's what's gonna happen. You're gonna go pro, and you're gonna live above the law. And I'll watch that video now. I'm like, Toby, you got no natural ability. That's why it takes you 100 times instead of 10 times. You got persistence, but not skill, and that's dangerous because you're gonna try it too much. You're gonna blow out your knees, and you don't want to do that because you're gonna want to golf in your 40s. Trust me. I know that sounds weird, but focus on your strengths. You're a great artist. Maybe they'll let you design the bottom of the skateboards, but this isn't where you're going, and you're not going to go pro. You might do all right on the amateur circuit, but you're going to ruin your ankles, all right? Also, this guy, he's a retiree. He's making minimum wage right now. He's got no pension because the factory closed down, and he's making minimum wage just trying to keep his model train dream alive, and you're being an That's what's going on right now. He's a veteran, you're being disrespectful. That's the truth of the situation. And it's like, I didn't know I was gonna be that guy. I didn't know I was gonna be up here empathizing more with old-timer model train guys rather than skateboarding youths. So I don't have model trains, not yet. But I get it. It's a tiny world that you get to control. And that's very attractive in this day and age. I will say this, politically speaking, I will say this. I think that the last 8 years in this country has really ruined the whole, the president's been kidnapped genre of action movie. I will say that it has deflated my enthusiasm. Man, that was a fun movie 10 years ago. That was fun. Oh, you'd go right to the cinema on Friday. The president's been kidnapped. Oh no, who's gonna save him? Channing Tatum? I hope his shirt doesn't come off. We were excited for those. You can't make that movie now. That movie does not have the steam it once held. The president's been kidnapped. Well, yeah, I mean, it's not good out there. People aren't happy, man. Inflation's out of control. Well, what are the kidnappers asking for? Healthcare? Yeah. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'll watch it, but I'm not rooting for who you want me to root for. Oh, they saved him? Okay, that's cool. Why are my premiums still through the roof? I'm not going to the sequel, I'll tell you that. I like all those action movies. I like the president's been kidnapped movies. I like all the action movies are my escape. The world's filled with drama and turmoil and heartbreak. I don't need to go to the movies for that. I can just look outside and be like, oh, it's bad. And so I like action movies because of the escapism. The dumber, the better. That's how it's plot holes, explosions that don't make sense. Give it to me. Why are you in space? Nobody asked. All right, fine. My favorite action movies of the current day and age that we're in are the Fast and the Furious movies. Those are my favorite ones. Arguably, oh, sure. But even cheering, we know they're the dumbest ones out there. They're dumb, they know they're dumb, and we know they're dumb. And we're still like, give them to me. How dumb are the last one was called Fast X for Fast 10. There's 12 of them. They're like, it's Fast 10. Like, aren't there 12? They're like, shut up, dummy. I'm like, yeah, okay, fine, it's fine. They're the guys that die in one just show back up. They don't even say why. They're just like, hey, they're like, oh, I thought you, yeah. Like, and then they're formulaic. They're elaborate, but they're truly formulaic. Like, right, I'm going to describe one of the Fast and Furiae to you right now, and pretty sure that's how you pluralize it. So, and if you don't know the franchise, you will not know if I'm just making this up, just pulling it out of my ass. You will have no idea. And if you do know the franchise, you still will not be sure. Because they just blend into one long Camaro explosion. But say we'll choose anyone from like in the middle. So let's say like 3 to 8. Let's say anywhere in there. You never know what it's going to be. They've already done their first heist. They've established themselves. They've got their millions. You know, this rapscallion crew of Honda Civic jockeys. They've made a few bucks and now they're in different parts of the world, just enjoying their life. We really did it. Nothing can go wrong now. And that's when just a representative from the U.S. government comes in like, we need this crack team of DVD player thieves. When that was relevant, we're the USA, strongest military in the world. Never mind about the Navy SEALs, but we're the strongest military in the world. That's part of the training now. We let puppies lick their toes, and if they crack, they're out. But right now, outside of the best, strongest, big military in the world, none of them know how to drive manual. So we really need you guys. We need you, bunch of Corona-sipping degenerates, to help us out. What had happened? It's just a group of international terrorists. It's international now. They can't be from a country because that's problematic. But it's still terrorism, but it's very diverse. Who are these terrorists? I don't know. That guy's Cuban. I think he's gay. Whatever. They're all over the place. They're all over the place now. They've stolen the nuclear codes. It's always the codes. It's never the bots, the codes. Apparently somebody's just writing them down in a notebook and just leaving them in a backpack at Starbucks. They always get the codes. It's just somebody like, all right, I got my keys, I got my wallet, chapstick. Oh, my JanSport full of nuclear codes. I can't believe I left it on the bus. So, the terrorists have stolen nuclear codes. They've hidden them in a Lamborghini. That's right, hide something. They've hidden them in a Lamborghini. Tastefully colored? No, it's orange. Bright orange Lamborghini. And they've stashed it on top of the bad guy's skyscraper. That's where I'd put it. You can't put it in the garage. It'll get scratched. So there's a bright orange Lamborghini full of nuclear codes on top of a heavily protected skyscraper in a country that we will not name because this movie needs to make money everywhere. So, what did I tell you? You know, you gotta feel. So that's on you guys now to help us because our military can't do it. And they're like, all right, assemble. All right, who, well, let's first, who do we have in our team that might have like a connection? A guy who knows a guy who knows a guy who might have like just a special Lamborghini lifting helicopter. And then just out of the shadows comes former hip hop star Ludacris. Oh, sure. Of course. Can you imagine it being someone else other than Ludacris? I'm convinced Ludacris does not know he's in these movies. I think Ludacris, he shows up wearing the clothes he was gonna wear anyway. And they just convince him to say a few key phrases. What? Lamborghini living in a helicopter. Got it, that's it. And they call him Ludacris half the time, I'm pretty sure. I don't know his character names like Dave or Lugnut, I don't know. But they're like, all right, so Luda. Oh, should we cut? Because I called them like, nope, we already blew the budget on special effects. Just keep going. But somehow they get Ludacris to say, yeah, I got a guy. And they're like, all right, cool. And so that's it. We're like, oh, we're like only 20 minutes in the movie, short and sweet. They cracked the case, you know? So special Lamborghini lifting helicopters coming over the horizon, you know, just approaching. And it's a unique looking helicopter. And bad guy skyscraper's over here, but it's a skyscraper. They got a vantage point with elevation. They're like, that looks like a particular kind of helicopter. Maybe one specifically designed for picking up Lamborghinis full of nuclear codes. And then the bad guys are like, well, should we double check? Like, where are the bad guys? And they just shoot it down. They just shoot it down right there. And you're 25 minutes into the movie, like, well, oh no, what are we gonna do? That was the plan. And so now we gotta go back to the clubhouse where everybody's hanging out. And we're like, all right, well, that plan, that was our one shot. So now we got to go the real unorthodox, maybe something like with math and science and engineering. Do we have somebody in our group with like that kind of brain, that analytical thinking that could like figure out some way with engineering to get the car out there? Oh, yeah, former model Tyrese, of course. Of course, when I think of engineering mastermind, I think of Tyrese. Tyrese, I believe, is reading the script just below the camera at all times. Oh, what's up? You all need help getting a lamb giant? That says lamb gina, man. That's how it's spelled. Oh. Y'all need to get a Lamborghini off a building. And then they just cut to a whiteboard with a lot of shapes and numbers on it. And he just goes, there. You know, like that's, they just had some intern run in, just make geometric shapes and put some math on there. And that's when Tyrese's like, well, if you drive it fast enough off the edge of the building and you could just fly it away on account of a Lamborghini has the doors that do this. It's got doors like this. Well, if you get enough speed, it could actually travel non-traditionally. That sounds like Back to the Future. Shut up, man. And so if you got enough speed, all right, so that's the plan. We'll fly the Lamborghini. To where? Okay, well, I guess we could just like get a short-term lease on a good guy skyscraper across the street. We'll just roll in with some cash, talk to the landlord. According to Tyrese's calculations, we really only need floors 8 through 13. We really only need those. Given the trajectory of his math, that's where the Lamborghini should crash into. So we'll get a short-term lease there. Absolutely, short-term lease. All right, but now we have to execute this plan. Who do we have amongst our crew that is brave enough, that is strong enough, that is bald and dumb enough to... We all know who it is. My man Vincent Diesel. That's who's coming in there. Vincent Diesel. My man Dominic Toretto. I just go by Vincent these days. He hears him talking about, he scoots out from underneath some hot rod that's blowing up in every movie. Every movie, that car just explodes at the end, and the next one starts with him like, Apparently all you need is like a 5/8 wrench to be like, back in action. He scoots out with a totally clean tank top and just stands up like, I'll do it. He's only got 5 lines. And he rolls in there. He gets the bad guy skyscraper. He just starts at the bottom, just indiscriminately, just kills, shoots him, shoots this guy. Gets to one floor, like, we're just a call center. What's happening? No witnesses. Shoots him. Gets him to what? We're just United Airlines customer service. What's going on? Double tap. I gotta fly them tomorrow. He just kills everybody in the skyscraper and gets up to the roof where the Lamborghini full of nuclear codes, and he gets in, there's always a minute where he's just like is horny for the car, where he's like, you know. Why? He fires it up, backs up, shoots it towards the edge of the building. Boom, it goes. He pops the doors That's it. They're the wings. It's flying. Of course it's flying. We've all agreed that this is real. I'm on my third bag of popcorn just going, of course it worked. Tyrese knows math. I'm absolutely with him on this, 100%. But then there's one terrorist he didn't get yet. There's one guy, and he's just barely hanging on, but he's dedicated to being a terrorist. And he's like, he pulls his AK-47 over by him, and he says something hack, because they didn't pay the writers well enough. So this guy's just like, not on my watch, or some like something dumb. And he's got one bullet left, and he fires it off. But it doesn't hit Vincent, and it doesn't hit like the undercarriage. Like, it just hits the window in the door, which that's where the lift exists for the Lamborghini to fly. Oh no, this whole plan unravels. Now Lamborghini's spiraling, and Vincent's like, what are we gonna do? And it's spiraling, it's not gonna go to the designated floors that they gotta rent on. It just smashes into the side, a good guy skyscraper. And Vincent thinks quick, he flips outside, he grabs a seatbelt, he's dangling off the side of the building. He's holding on like an office chair that's hooked on an I-beam that's hanging out of under construction office, and he's holding on to the Lamborghini by the seatbelt, just like, you gotta do this. And crucifix is just dangling, shining in the sunlight. And he looks at that, and that's when he's like, oh yeah, family! And he just, which is such, that's weird that's what that reminds him of, because the guy in that crucifix, his dad killed him. That's a weird thing to go with. But that's where he gets his strength, family, and and he flings the Lamborghini over his head. Into the office up there, and he drags himself up, but he's just got glass coming out of his bald head, and it's bleeding. He drags himself in there, and the rest of the crew, they all rush up to make sure he's okay, and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe that was so close. And the main, like the starlet, his wife, I don't even know, she shows up for the first 5 minutes in the movie and disappears, but then she's there at the end, like she was part of this crew the whole time, and she's like, oh, I can't believe, I'm so glad you're safe. Don't you do that ever again. But then she's like, but also the way you saved the world has got me all, every time you just assert yourself this way, and he's just laying there bleeding like, all right. And that's the part of the movie where I'm like, okay, I was with you the whole time. I was with you from Ludacris just being called Ludacris, from Tyrese knowing science. I was on board with everything. Flying Lamborghini, instantly, of course. But there's no way he's up for this. And that, not then, no. I just want one action movie where that's the moment where it really hits the realism, where it's just like everything happened, there's explosions, death, blood, and I just want the main guy to just be like, what, are you around? Did you not see what I just, can I get like 20 minutes? Jesus Christ. I see. This is what horned you up? What's wrong? I just killed all those guys. And that, not to mention, I ran up the whole building, but those guys had families. I'm sad about that. You don't really. And also, I've been at my target heart rate all day with this plan. I think this is rebar that went through a kidney. My blood pressure's plummeting, but I mean, if you need it, we can give it a shot, but it won't be good. I hope you're into people watching, because we're gonna have to do it in the ambulance, because I am fighting off the tunnel vision right now of a blackout, and I need fluids, not sexy fluids, vital fluids. We can try, but I'd love 6 to 8 weeks for a full recovery, just to be honest with you there. I was with a group of dudes, and I was outnumbered as far as the soundtrack of the trip went, and so they wanted to listen to jam bands, and I found a new kind of hell for myself. If jam bands are your thing, good for you. Bless your heart on that stuff. I do not hear a jam. I never hear a jam. I hear 5 stepdads who do not know how to end a song. That's what I hear. I don't care what name of the band you tell me it is. It's one band that names them all. It's called Noodly Lou and the Turd Herders. And it's 5 dads in cargo shorts, and one guy wants to end it. You know, one guy in the band. There's no end to this joke. It just goes on. In being faithful to that genre of music, the joke just goes on until everybody's like, we do have to get out of here. That really... There's no on that one. I will say, as pro-vaccine and I'm pro-science, I will say that right now. Also, I will say this. Consider the source material. First off, I'm a comedian. I shouldn't be a part of anybody's research. Ever. Just ever. But the band on the podcast, no. Also, I will tell you to trust the science. But know this, I also get sunburns every year. Multiple sunburns. And that science has been out there since the sun. Since the first person has been like, oh, I gotta find some shade. I ignore that science every year. That's the dumbest look you could have in a first world country, is an adult with a sunburn just going, ha ha. Yeah, man, I really thought I was gonna get around it this year. I was doing yard work, but I was bobbing and weaving. I didn't think it was gonna get me this year. Nope, first nice day of the year, I'm just out there like, you don't want to SPF too early, you want to get a good base coat. You want to brown up even, then you can lotion up. Second nice day of the year, bright red screaming cancer. Got shoulders that look like French bread pizzas. Then after that, I've clearly tried to apply sunblock, but I've done it alone and been too proud to ask for help. And you can see that because you can tell I've just taken the tube, I will squeeze it over my head and just let it drizzle down, just magic shell style, just oozing down my face. Just a little hot fudge Kyle, that's all. My head and face are a ghoulish white, like the holograms from the Haunted Mansion showing up next to you. Ha! What you barbecuing? Blah. And the rest of it I kind of push down around my chest and shoulders. My back is just a series of violent handprints. Just furious slappings. It looks like demons tried to drag me to hell. But thank God the copper tone was too slick and they couldn't get their talons in. Praise Jesus. Not today, Satan. You will not capture my soul. For your demonic pits of hell, I managed to slip away in the flames of the underworld, only burnt a spiky, tribal Godsmack album cover looking thing. Relinquish your grasp, hellions. But that's the thing, like, listen, I'm gonna go on to vaccine. I'm pro-vaccine, pro-science, but I behave in very anti-vax ways. One of those is I keep eating at Chipotle. I know it's dangerous, and I engage in that behavior freely. I'm like, it's freedom, not fear. I will not live in a prison made up of your paranoia. Now, well, they got that white queso dip back on the menu anyway. Also, Chipotle kills people every year. Every year, Chipotle has to have a press conference where they're like, Yeah. I'm surprised we're back here again too, but somebody pissed in the spinach again or something. You know? Anyway, long story short, we're sorry for your loss. We're sorry, but we're gonna make it up to you. We're gonna offer a BOGO every Tuesday in July. It's for your loss. You get an extra burrito on account of the love, your bereavement burrito. It's for your bereavement. There's some. It'll tie together later. So I ate that. And I can self-diagnose food poisoning at this point. I'm pretty familiar. I'm like, here we go again. Dancing with this smelly mistress another evening. Food poisoning moves around your torso in a way that it's just looking for a way out. It's like a bank heist went south and their plan B wasn't really dialed in. You're like, oh, the front doors are blocked off. What do we do, boss? I don't know. We can tunnel out the basement or jump off the roof, but we're getting out of this one way or another. Like, that's food poisoning.